How to grow peppers and get a huge harvest. Growing peppers is such an exciting and enjoyable gardening adventure. Whether you're into sweet bell peppers or spicy jalapenos, the process is surprisingly fun and deeply rewarding. You don't need to be a gardening expert to get started. With just a few easy steps, you can grow happy, healthy pepper plants and enjoy a huge, colorful harvest. So let's jump right in on how to grow peppers and get a huge harvest. Chapter 1. Choosing the right pepper variety. Peppers come in many shapes, sizes, and flavors, and so choosing the right type is the first step toward a big, satisfying harvest. You might love spicy food, or maybe you prefer milder flavors. Either way, there's a pepper for you. Sweet bell peppers are popular because they're crisp and colorful, while hot varieties like jalapenos, habaneros, or Thai chili peppers bring bold flavor and heat. But if your climate is cooler, it's better to pick fast-maturing varieties that don't need a long growing season. Meanwhile, in warmer areas, almost any variety can thrive. Moreover, it's wise to consider what you'll use the peppers for. Do you want to stuff them, pickle them, or dry them? Some peppers are perfect for grilling, and others are great in salsa. Therefore, planning how you'll use them helps you decide what to grow. If space is limited, compact or dwarf varieties are ideal. They grow well in containers and don't take over your garden. But if you have room to spare, go ahead and try several kinds. Growing a mix makes your pepper patch more fun and colorful. Chapter 2. Starting peppers from seeds. Starting peppers from seeds may sound tricky, but it's actually fun and incredibly rewarding. You just need a little patience and the right setup. Start your seeds indoors about 8 to 10 weeks before your last expected frost date. Peppers need warmth to germinate, so aim for a consistent temperature of about 75 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit. You can place your seed trays near a sunny window, but using a heat mat is even better, especially if your house stays cool. Use a light seed starting mix and keep it slightly moist but not soggy. Too much water causes rot, but too little prevents germination, so balance is key. Seeds usually sprout in 1 to 3 weeks, but some hot varieties take longer, so don't worry if they seem slow. Once your seedlings sprout, move them to a bright light source. A grow light works wonderfully, and you should keep it just a few inches above the plants. This helps them grow strong and sturdy instead of tall and weak. If seedlings become crowded, thin them gently, and if they look pale or leggy, adjust the lighting. And don't forget to water them regularly, just lightly. Too much water will harm their delicate roots. Chapter 3. Transplanting your pepper seedlings. Transplanting time is always exciting, but it's important to do it right so your peppers stay healthy. Wait until the danger of frost has passed, and nighttime temperatures stay consistently above 55 degrees Fahrenheit. Before moving your plants outdoors, harden them off gradually. Take them outside for a few hours each day, increasing the time over a week. This helps them adjust to the sunlight and outdoor conditions without getting shocked. Choose a sunny location for planting. Peppers love full sun, so aim for at least 6 to 8 hours daily. The soil should be loose, rich, and well-draining. If it feels heavy or clay-like, mix in compost or aged manure to improve it. Plant your peppers about 18 to 24 inches apart and bury them slightly deeper than they were in their pots. This encourages strong root growth, but if they seem too tall or flimsy, you can stake them gently to keep them upright. Water them deeply right after transplanting, and mulch around the base to help retain moisture and block weeds. Meanwhile, keep an eye out for signs of transplant shock, such as drooping or pale leaves, but if you've prepared them properly, they should bounce back quickly. Chapter 4. Providing the right growing conditions. Now that your peppers are in the ground, it's time to help them thrive. Peppers are sun lovers, and they grow best in warm temperatures, ideally between 70 and 90 degrees Fahrenheit during the day. They don't like cold soil or sudden changes in weather, so if a chilly night is coming, cover them with a light cloth to protect them. But if your climate is very hot, they might drop flowers, so try to provide light shade during extreme heat. Watering is important, but so is how and when you do it. Water deeply once or twice a week, depending on your soil and climate. Shallow. Watering leads to weak roots, but deep watering encourages strong, healthy growth. Try to water early in the morning and avoid splashing the leaves because that can lead to disease. Fertilizing peppers is helpful, but too much nitrogen makes them grow lots of leaves and not enough fruit. Therefore, use a balanced fertilizer, or one with slightly more phosphorus and potassium. Compost tea or fish emulsion can also work wonders if used every few weeks. Moreover, peppers like slightly acidic to neutral soil. You can test your soil's pH using a simple kit. If it's off balance, adjust it with lime or sulfur depending on the results. Meanwhile, keep checking for pests and disease, because early detection makes all the difference. Chapter 5. Supporting, Flowering, and Fruit Production. When your pepper plants start flowering, it's truly a happy sight, but it's also a critical stage, and your care now can directly affect your harvest. Peppers begin to flower when the plant feels stable, healthy, and mature enough, and so you want to make sure conditions are just right. If your plant is growing lots of leaves but no flowers, it might be getting too much nitrogen. Cut back slightly on high nitrogen fertilizer, and instead switch to one that's higher in phosphorus and potassium to encourage blooms and fruit. Peppers are self-pollinating, but they can use a little help, especially if you're growing them indoors or in a greenhouse. You can gently shake the plant, or use a soft paintbrush or cotton swab to transfer pollen between flowers. This mimics the work of wind or bees. If flowers appear but drop off without forming fruit, that's often due to stress, too much heat, cold nights, or inconsistent watering. But if you maintain even moisture, provide light afternoon shade in extreme heat, and keep feeding the plant regularly, you'll see a big improvement. Moreover, avoid pruning too aggressively at this stage. You can pinch off weak or damaged growth, but the plant still needs its leaves to support fruiting. Meanwhile, you should watch for pests like aphids, which love to feed on new buds. Spray them off with water, or use insecticidal soap if needed. And remember, patience is key. Fruit development can take a few weeks after flowering begins, but once you see those little peppers forming, you'll be thrilled. Chapter 6. Dealing with pests and problems. Even healthy pepper plants can run into problems, but if you catch issues early, they're usually easy to fix. And so, checking your plants every few days really pays off. Common pests include aphids, spider mites, and whiteflies. These tiny insects feed on the sap and can weaken your plant or cause distorted leaves. You might notice sticky residue or curling leaves. But if you act quickly, you can spray them with a mix of water and a few drops of dish soap, or use neem oil for natural control. Moreover, keep an eye out for caterpillars or beetles chewing holes in the leaves. Pick them off by hand, or try placing floating row covers over young plants. If you use pesticides, choose organic options to avoid harming pollinators. Fungal diseases like powdery mildew or leaf spot can appear in damp conditions. To avoid this, water at the base of the plant, not overhead, and make sure there's plenty of air circulation. Remove affected leaves and space your plants properly so they don't stay too crowded. Blossom end rot is another problem. It shows up as a dark, sunken spot on the bottom of the pepper. It's caused by calcium deficiency or irregular watering. But if you water consistently and add crushed eggshells or bone meal to the soil, it usually clears up. Meanwhile, keep your soil healthy by rotating crops each year. If you planted tomatoes or eggplants in one spot, avoid putting peppers there the following year because they share similar pests and diseases. Chapter 7. Harvesting and getting bigger yields. Now for the fun part, harvesting your peppers. This stage is super enjoyable, and you'll feel proud seeing your plants loaded with colorful ripe fruit. But knowing when and how to harvest is just as important as growing them. Peppers can be picked at various stages, depending on how you want to use them. Green bell peppers are actually immature, and if left longer, they turn red, yellow, or orange, depending on the variety. Hot peppers also increase in heat the longer they stay on the plant. If you want a mild flavor, harvest earlier. But if you're aiming for full color and sweetness, wait until the pepper fully ripens. Use scissors or pruning shears to cut them off. Don't pull, or you might damage the stem. Moreover, picking peppers regularly encourages the plant to keep producing. If you leave too many mature fruits on, the plant thinks its job is done, and may slow down. So harvest often and enjoy the continuous yield. If you're going for huge harvests, feed your plants again after the first flush of fruit. A side dressing of compost or a light liquid feed gives them a second boost. And if the weather stays warm, you'll often get another wave of flowers and fruit. Store harvested peppers in a cool, dry place or freeze them for long-term use. You can also dry hot peppers and grind them into powder. Meanwhile, if you saved and seeds from your best fruits, you can grow an even better crop next season. You're exciting. Journey to growing peppers and getting huge harvests. Whether you're growing sweet bell peppers or fiery chili varieties, the process is not only fun, but also incredibly rewarding. You've learned how to choose the best varieties, start seeds properly, care for your plants, and maximize their fruiting potential. But if there's one takeaway to remember, it's this: peppers thrive when they're loved. And so, give them light, warmth, water, and nutrition, and they'll thank you with baskets of vibrant, flavorful fruit. Moreover, once you've harvested your first big batch, you might find yourself dreaming up all kinds of delicious ways to use them, from stir-fries and salads to hot sauces and salsas. The best part? You grew them yourself. If you enjoyed this guide, share it with fellow garden lovers and consider growing new varieties next season. Meanwhile, don't forget to compost your garden waste, save your best seeds, and start planning for your next planting adventure. Gardening is more than just a hobby. It's an exciting, enjoyable journey that brings joy, health, and flavor to your life. So grab your gloves, grab your watering can, and go grow some peppers. You've got this. That's how to grow peppers and get a huge harvest.